and orphans coming into the United States of America as part of our tradition of compassion. Now, first they were worried about the press being too tough on them during debates. Now they're worried about 3-year-old orphans. That doesn't sound very tough to me. They've been playing on fear in order to try to score political points or to advance their campaigns. And it's irresponsible. And it's contrary to who we are. And it needs to stop because the world is watching.
Right now, we know of no specific and credible intelligence indicating a plot on the homeland.
Now, with the southern border, everybody comes in. Mm-hmm. You just walk by. So we're taking hundreds of thousands of people, some good people, and some rapists, and some killers, and drug lords, and everyone else. And they're flowing through the southern border. And I would build a wall like nobody can build a wall. And nobody comes in illegally anymore.
And the last question is, you scratch your head about this fence. Everybody talks, build the fence, nothing getting done.
Well, nobody can build a fence like me, David. You know that. I built great buildings all over the world. There's nobody can build a fence. And I would have Mexico pay for it, believe me. They will pay for it. Because they have really ripped this country off. They have really taken advantage of us, both economically and at the border. They will pay for that fence.
A pleasure.
ISIS is making a tremendous amount of money because they have certain oil camps, right? They have certain areas of oil that they took away. They have some in Syria, some in Iraq. I would bomb the shit out of them. I would just bomb those suckers. And that's right. I'd blow up the pipes. I'd blow up the I'd blow up every single inch. There would be nothing left. And you know what? You'll get Exxon to come in there in 2 months. You ever see these guys, how good they are, the great oil companies? They'll rebuild that sucker brand new. It'll be beautiful. And I'd ring it, and I'd take the oil.
They're using them as shields. But we're fighting a very politically correct war.
Yeah. Well, we see that happening in Vermont.
The other thing is with the terrorists, you have to take out their families. When you get these terrorists, you have to take out their families. They care about their lives. Don't kid yourself. But they say they don't care about their lives. You have to take out their families.
Donald J. Trump is calling for a total and complete shutdown of Muslims entering the United States until our country's representatives can figure out what the hell is going on. We have no choice. We have no choice.
In closing, I want to salute the people of Paris for showing the world how to stay strong in the face of terrorism. Even as they grieve, Parisians have begun returning to their cafes, riding the metro, going to stadiums to cheer for their teams. Crowds gathered in the Place de la République, including a mother who brought her children. She said, to let them see that we should not be afraid. As one Parisian said, Paris will always be Paris. And next week, I will be joining President Hollande and world leaders in Paris for the Global Climate Conference. What a powerful rebuke to the terrorists it will be when the world stands as one and shows that we will not be deterred from building a better future for our children.
Now, obviously, this is a country that is based on free speech, but when it edges towards violence, when we see the potential for someone lifting that mantle of anti-Muslim rhetoric, or, as we saw after 9/11, violence directed at individuals who may not even be Muslims but may be perceived to be Muslims. And they will suffer just as well, just as much. When we see that, we will take action. That I think we have, yes, we have charged 225 defendants with hate crimes offenses over the last 6 years, most of those in the last 3 years. Since 9/11, we've had over 1,000 investigations into acts of anti-Muslim hatred, including rhetoric and bigoted actions, with over 45 prosecutions arising out of that. I think, sadly, that number is going to continue.
Yeah, I dare her to go up against Donald Trump and try to arrest
I
him.
would bomb the shit
How many
out of
Muslims are charged with hate crimes?
You talked over the
Sorry, listen,
yes, Mom.
I got it. How many Muslim terrorists were charged with hate crimes, Loretta Lynch? How many? Are either one of these two from San Bernardino getting charged with a hate crime?
You know what? I'm sensing it's one of these moments, folks. Yeah, there we go. Go ahead. Russ.
We're afraid of widows and orphans. The president got some nerve. That doesn't sound tough. He said that doesn't sound tough, Gene. President Obama's tough.
Oh, he sounded tough, didn't he? I mean, he's rebuking ISIS left and right by going to,
He's rebuking them. Right off the bat, use the word rebuke, you should get slapped across the mouth.
What is he, a jilted ex-girlfriend here or what?
No credible threats. Do you hear what he says about Paris? The Parisians.
Incredible threat going on as the show is being taped.
The Parisians, they're returning to their cafes, Gene. They're returning to the stadiums to cheer their teams. And then he said, they're returning to the Plaza de République, whatever the hell that means. Bread and circus. This guy's out of control. As long as there's bread and circus and global warming and the Republic and cheer for their teams and go back to the cafes, then the terrorists don't win. Is he insane?
Pay no attention to the burning building behind you or the gunshots going off around you, but root on Paris Saint-Germain as much as you can. Come on already.
I want to just revisit the hate crimes thing, Gene, because I got some stats for you.
Okay.
I did a little show prep.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, I did.
I'm shocked. Lay it on me, big man. Let's see what you got.
So let's talk about these supposed hate crimes that are spiraling out of control.
Yes. There's got to be huge numbers,
Huge numbers. So let's just talk about religion.
Not huge. Huge.
Huge. Let's just talk about religion-based hate crimes. Which group or religious group do you think gets the most hate crimes perpetrated against percentage-wise?
I actually know this.
Uh-oh.
It's over 56%, and it's the Jews.
It's actually 66%.
Oh, I was
it's
there.
the Jews.
I was there, though.
It's the Jews, 66%. And these stats come from the FBI from 2001 to 2012. The more recent ones, 2014, are about the same. So I went with the longer group since 9/11, where you would imagine the numbers would be higher. Right? So I will go with the worst case scenario. 66% of Two-thirds of hate crimes in the U.S. against the Jews. How many against the Muslims?
I'm going to guess less than 20.
Yes, 12%. 12% of hate crimes against Muslims since 9/11. 66% against Jews. Now, here's the interesting stat. What percentage of the population do you think identify themselves as Jewish?
It's got to be less than 10%, right?
It's significantly less. It's 1.8% of the American population considers themselves Jewish.
And I would say that 70% of them in the People's Republic of New York City. So we know a lot about this.
We know a good deal. So now what percent would you say are Muslim, Gene?
I'm going to say it's probably greater than the Jewish population.
It's actually less.
Oh, is it really?
But not much less. How could you get much less than 1.8%? Jews are 1.8% in this country, Muslim 0.9%.
Okay, so
1 and 2%, let's say.
Okay, good enough for me.
So, but then when you talk about hate crimes perpetrated against Jews,
different.
66% against Jews, 12% against Muslims. So what the hell are you talking about, Loretta Lynch? What are you talking about?
I'm still looking for the evidence that America has a hate on for Muslims.
Hate on? That was good.
I'm trying to understand, where is the evidence that Americans hate Muslims in numbers that warrant such drastic federal response? Putting it in a speech, in an address to the nation, the Attorney General ordering a preemptive strike, if you will, against her own administration. I mean, come on already here. Where is the protection for Jewish Americans?
How any Jew could be a Democrat is beyond me. Wake up, my Jewish brothers and sisters. My fellow Hebrews and Shebrews. What are you doing out there? How are you voting Democrat? How do you elect a guy like Mayor Bill de Blasio, President Barack Obama, or God forbid Hillary Clinton? How could you? How could you?
Time to wake up and smell the coffee here, folks.
So that's one of their solutions, Gene. Hate crimes.
You know what? The Jewish population needs the same wake-up call that the African-American population needs, Russ. the party that they keep voting for is doing a disservice to them. And hopefully this coming year they're going to be able to turn that around.
Well, I got a dirty secret. I got a dirty secret for you, Gene. I know this is going to come up more.
I like dirty secrets.
Lots of blacks and Jews are going to be voting for Mr. Trump. I hate to tell you this because I know how you guys feel about Trump, but we'll talk about that later. Let's just continue on with some of the other solutions.
You keep putting that straw man out there. I don't like it. Go ahead. I'll get to that later.
We'll get to that later. So what are some of the other solutions that the president offered besides sicking Loretta Lynch out there to prosecute fake hate crimes that don't exist?
Oh, gun control is
gun control. So let's talk about this. So let me ask you this, Gene.
Oh.
In all the states, which one do you think probably has amongst the toughest gun laws in this country?
Well, besides the People's Republic
we
of
know
New
New
York City,
York.
The People's Republic of New York State, I should say. Besides Maryland, I would dare say the fair state of California.
The People's Republic of California.
Probably has some of the worst. I mean, listen, we know that our friends in San Francisco are dealing with sanctuary city issues and, $15 an hour and people sitting naked in cafes and all this other nonsense. But the state of California in general, home of Dianne Feinstein, or Frankenfeinstein as Russell likes to call her, has some pretty restrictive gun laws.
And then we were told that the guns used in this terrorist attack were bought
legally. With the exception of a couple, many were handguns.
And here's the point I want to make, because now you always got to figure, Gene, how is a leftist or a rhinoceros going to attack you, right?
Well, isn't this just before we get to that? I just want to put the point. Let's put the point out there before the attack comes out. You cannot legislate criminality. You can punish criminality, but you cannot legislate it out of existence.
But I'm going to use the Mayor Bloomberg argument. Well, a lot of those guns might have been purchased legally, but they were purchased legally in other states, and they were brought to our fair state or city. All right, so let's say that was true. I don't even know if that is true, but let's just say that's a leftist argument that's coming at you.
As lawyers would say, assuming arguendo.
I like that. I'm going to have to learn some of the law here. Speaking of laws, so I believe in all 50 states, I could be wrong, all 50 states, I assume IEDs, improvised explosive devices, and pipe bombs are currently illegal. I would assume.
Let me just check Idaho real quick.
Let's just double check.
Yes, you're correct,
Let's get the staff to do a quick fact check on that. Yet, these terrorists in San Bernardino not only had legally purchased firearms, they had what I believe is illegal in all 50 states, improvised explosive devices and pipe bombs, basically a factory in their garage. And it was workplace violence. No premeditation is what the president wanted to say. I think Hillary Clinton actually blamed it on a video.
And Linda Stasi of the New York Daily News blamed it on the victims. If
yes,
you saw that article,
because they were saying anti-women's or something.
They were saying conservative messages, bigoted, hateful messages coming from a right-wing conservative. Of course he deserved to die. Linda Stasi, you are not a buffoon. You are an out-and-out dangerous person. I wanted to say the B word, but I chose against it.
So let's stir the pot here, Gene. So you got...
Oh, we haven't done it yet?
You got guns, legal. You got pipe bombs, illegal. You got IEDs, illegal.
You got entry into the country, legal.
You have radicalization, I guess legal, but weird, because the woman is the one who did it.
Well, kind of weird. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I would say so.
Now, let me ask you this, Gene. So, they shot up the place. They had bombs. They started driving away in an SUV. What eventually stopped them? Trivia time.
Guys with guns.
Good guys with guns. There you go.
But they happen to be government guns. If there had been good guys with guns who were just citizens that were allowed to carry them, don't you think there may have been at least one in that workplace that would have shot back? Do you think that the plot would have even happened if these terrorists would have known that there was a 1% chance that they would get shot and kill themselves?
Duh. Yes. And my question is this, Gene. When the police chased them down and attempted to pull them over and execute the car stop, did they have their hands up? Don't Muslim lives matter too? Don't terrorist lives matter?
I think they shot first and asked questions later, right?
No. You're telling me an armed person that doesn't listen to the police can be shot in this country?
Someone get Sean King on the line.
Oh, my God. Listen, hashtag Muslim Lives Matter. Listen, I'm with you guys on this one, too. Maybe we could go shut down some cafes.
Where was the due process then, Democrats That's what I
Good
wanted.
guys with guns, Gene. Wow. Simple math there. What's the rest? We got to go on to one more thing that the president said.